Welcome back to episode 3, Glutes and Giggles. Here we go. So we're going to talk about what we've got up to start with in the past week. And then we're going to go into a little bit more educational stuff today.
Yes.
Because I feel like it's going to be good for you guys.
100%.
So, what have you been up to?
So we're in Lou's apartment today doing the podcast. So
finally moved in, because I think the last one I hadn't even moved in, had I?
No, you'd got your apartment. You weren't quite in your apartment as of yet.
Yeah, I moved in, and then on Friday I did like a little housewarming, which was super cute. So yeah.
Go check out our YouTube video where we give you a tour of our apartment.
Yeah, 100%. It was meant to be a quiet night in as well, and of course that did not happen.
No, we got about 3 bottles of Prosecco in, and then it was suggested
to go out. It wasn't our fault.
We were not even like dressed for it either. Like, we were very casual, and we were like, should we get changed? And then our friend Zach was like, no, like, let's just go out. So,
and then he was literally on the shots.
Yeah,
and then we were on the shots.
It was
and
messy.
then it was just, we ended up, we don't go clubs. We don't really, that's not really what we do.
Was it a club?
Was it a club? It was like everybody in the middle, like, woo!
I don't know. Well, obviously you've not been out in Edinburgh, but for anyone who's from Edinburgh, it was a bit like the Cavendish. So it's like this. It's basically like. It's a fun place, but just a bit like grungy.
It did feel grungy.
Like there was like broken glass all over the floor.
Yeah,
and stuff
like
that.
The lights came on, and when the lights come on in,
that's the worst.
And you're like, oh crap.
When the lights come on, you know it's been too long a night.
Yeah.
And what time to get home? About 4
or 5 in the morning.
Oh, it was a late night.
Yeah.
But it was good fun. It was really good fun.
Yeah,
we were just
really.
listening to music and dancing.
Yeah, it was a good vibe, but it was actually quite nice not to worry, because like the first place we went to, it was actually full, and we got there and our hair was so sweaty because we were like just waiting outside, obviously, with the humidity and like 40-degree heat. I did not care how I looked, and that's why I think we just had like a messy night, because we were like, oh, you know what
I was saying to you, I got approached more than I've got approached anywhere that
you
night.
did. There was like 5 of them, like one after
like
the other, like make my way through. I was just watching that. Go on, girl.
Yeah, no, it just shows you that actually it doesn't matter apparently what you look like when you go out.
Maybe they liked that though. You did still look really nice, but like,
yeah, but it was like I had like fucking flip-flops on.
I know.
Shorts and like a little suit.
I mean, yeah, from what you normally wear.
Yeah, normally it's like heels, dresses.
Yeah, and it wasn't the best in the wardrobe.
No, it was not.
Neither was mine. I was wearing a whole bright blue plaid.
Yeah, you look nice though. I liked it. We got Wingstop. Did we mention that in our last one? No, I don't think so. So I've been seeing all these TikToks about Wingstop, so we wanted it, but it was
not gonna lie, very disappointing.
It was a bit of a letdown.
It wasn't crunchy. It was
like in the videos they bite in and it's like.
Yeah, it wasn't
like that. So that was a bit disappointing.
So yeah, but then
since what did we do on Saturday?
We died because...
Oh, I was quite productive.
Oh, right. You went to the gym.
I went to the gym. Do you know when you wake up after
and she knew I wasn't going to go, so she didn't even message me. And then she was like, oh, by the way, I'm at the gym. I was like, fair enough.
Yeah, like I'm really weird. And like when I used to go out all the time back home, I would always get up first thing and like go to the gym.
You had like 3 or 4 hours sleep.
Yeah, and then I was like at the gym. I had like 2 pre-workouts.
But should we tell them why you went to the gym? Or are you going to... She ate a large Domino's pizza.
I had a large stuffed crust beef pepperoni pizza at 5 a.m.
No wonder you felt shit and wanted to go.
I woke up and I felt disgusting, especially after the week before doing the 10,000 calorie challenge.
Yeah.
Like the fact I even wanted to eat that is like bizarre to me.
I could actually.
So yeah, I was like, not that you can out train your diet, guys, but I was like, I need to get some movement in. So like, walked to the gym, did my workout, did the Stairmaster, and then I lay by the pool all day.
I literally did nothing. I was literally just chilling.
And then I went and got a girl dinner, got like some sushi, some popcorn. And watch The Kissing Booth 1 and 2.
Oh my god, I literally fell asleep at like 8 p.m. You messaged me and I was like, I'm gone.
You were gone. You were absolutely gone. And then Sunday, I went out to watch the Euros.
You had a great week. I was doing work. I literally work every Sunday, Monday. But anyways, that was basically what we've been up to.
So that's basically what we've been up to. Just the usual, working busy Monday to Friday, and then
a little bit of Friday afternoon, Saturday off, and then back to work really on Sundays.
So yes, and now here we are again for our 3rd episode of the podcast. Can't believe it's the 3rd episode.
I know, what the hell, we're smashing this. We're gonna really make this like top. Anyway, today we're gonna talk about basically how to handle situations like your journey in front of like your family, your friends, maybe your partner, when they're not in the journey themselves, because I feel like it can be so difficult to navigate how you handle these situations when people don't understand. Like, I know I've been through it, like, especially with, like, my parents, actually, because they wasn't on, like, the new, because they did fad diets, or, you know, they get takeaways at the weekend. And when I actually wanted to make, like, really serious results, I don't think it was always understood, which is fair enough, because why would you if you're not doing it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But then how did I handle that? And then it's also, like, when my ex now, but, like, when I had a boyfriend, like, how did I handle, like, the evening snacks, and how did I navigate all of that? Because it is really hard, especially when they don't care about their nutrition.
Yeah.
So
I always say to people when they're joining the coaching, I say, I highly recommend that you tell all of your loved ones what you're doing and your reason why you're doing it, because a big thing that people who love you obviously will say, like, you're perfect the way you are, you don't need to change.
My mum was like, well, why are you doing that? Like, you know, my dad said the same, you know, like, partners say the same, you say the same to me, or you don't need to worry, or this or that. But if you're not comfortable in your own body, no one's going to understand. So you need to tell them straight away. They don't
get it at all. And it's like, by having that really raw, deep conversation about how unhappy you feel or why you're doing it. I mean, it could be any reason. It could be for physical. It could be that, like, you're chasing your kids around the park just now and you're, like, out of breath and want to be able to keep up with them.
Or even, like, you're absolutely stressed at work and you need that mental release, or you need that hour for yourself. Like, let's say you're married right now, or even just, like, you have a boyfriend or whatever, and they don't understand why an hour out of the evening needs to be spent on you, or they need to look after the kids for an hour. If that's going to make you generally a happier person to be around, then if they don't understand that, then I think some serious words need to be had.
And I think it comes from a place of not understanding. Like, if they've never been in a position in their body where they've been unhappy, people don't get it. Like, to be so unhappy with how you look and to not be able to put on your favorite outfit, or to actually avoid going places or going on nights out because of how you look, it's the worst feeling.
Or even, like, being in a social situation and then feeling like you're not actually present in the social situation,
like,
because
you're going through your head,
like, oh, she looks better than me, or oh my god, what do I look like? Oh my god, they're judging me, I haven't seen this person in years, or like maybe my boyfriend doesn't think I'm the fittest person in the room. It all comes down to, if you know, you need to then put in that inner work. It's not always about what the scale says. It's about you just feeling confident in yourself.
Yeah, totally.
I think. And then, how was your experience, like, with, like, growing up with, like, family and stuff? Did they get goals? Were they into fitness? Were they into their nutrition? Like, how was your family fitness?
Like, so me and my brother are both coaches, which is really interesting because my mum and dad will laugh and be like, we don't know how the hell you two ended up doing this job. So my brother's been a PT for far longer than me, about 12 years. So I've been about 5-6 years now. And at school, like, I was really sporty, but then my parents were not. They didn't really push that onto us. It wasn't something that was at home. And I think as I got older, I started to move away from that and got more interested in, like, boys and going out and shopping. And I kind of lost it. And a lot of it was actually to do with, like, being embarrassed in PE. Being in the class with boys, you know, when you start getting hair on your legs and stuff.
It's always the girls, I feel like, at the moment, well, I speak for us and, like, a lot of the other coaches that I've spoken to, it's always the one that felt silly in PE, now do something within fitness. Yeah. It's so weird.
Yeah, because I loved it. And that always really sticks with me. And when I think about it now, I'm like, I honestly am a big believer that, like, girls and boys should be, like, separated in PE till, like, 5th or 6th year.
Yeah.
Because, like, it is embarrassing. There's hair, there's sweat, there's, like, embarrassment.
Yeah, I didn't want to, like, run around in front of a boy.
No, it was horrible.
Now I'm in the gym, like, looking like a sweaty pig,
totally not giving a shit. But that's the confidence coming in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but
it's honestly crazy.
I think I then, like, my weight was always, like, up, down, up, down, up, down. And then when I decided to actually go all in with my goals, my mum has done dieting in her life, but in a very different way to me. And I think they didn't really get the calorie counting, the weighing of food. They thought it was quite obsessive.
My mum was similar because, like, I think in their, like, they must be around the same age, I think, you know, in their sort of era, it was always, like, more like the 5-2 diet. Has your mum done that? Restriction. Like just eating like a big orange is, like, you know, until, like, maybe the end of the day. I remember my mum actually eating one of those and I was like, can I have some? And she's like, no, because it was all the calories she had. Bless her.
My God. That's,
I know.
Like, mad.
But it's just because in that era, you're not educated. You didn't have that. Was online coaching a thing? I don't think
so.
Like, it was just, like, what was in magazines and all of this kind of stuff. And that was what is promoted on the front of a magazine is the 5-2 diet, or, you know, eat, you know, a Victoria's Secret diet, whatever it is.
No carbs.
Yeah, no carbs.
Just as little as possible. And that was something she would, like, through later years in my journey, like, even when I was like bulking and stuff, it'd be like, oh, why are you eating so much? And they're always commenting on like what I'm eating and how often I'm eating.
It's like, oh, you're eating again.
Yeah,
like,
I remember, and I used to be like, oh my God, don't, like, can we just not comment on people's eating habits? Like, if you're listening to this, just be really aware. Like, obviously, if you're worried about a family member, like, absolutely, totally get that. But like, you have to be very careful with like what you say and how you word things, because you don't know what's going on internally in someone's head. So more approaching it with like, how are you doing? Is everything okay with health and fitness? Can you explain your journey to me, rather than like judging or being
what you eating
weird
again,
about it,
or like another snack, or you know, it's the wording of it. And I think especially around maybe like, you know, like social situations with family as well, when they're like, just have it. It's not going to make a difference.
Oh, I hate that.
That literally irritates me. Like, yes, of course, one meal is not going to make a difference. Like, you know, we all know that we need balance and all of that. But if there is a situation where you actually don't want to be having a large Chinese takeaway, or you don't want it because you're actually, you know, working towards your goals and that's what you feel like in the time, there is nothing wrong with you putting your hand up and just being like, look, guys, I really don't want it. Thank you so much for offering. But I'm going to make something very similar. I just have some goals I'm working towards now. That is what I used to say. And it actually came back as more like, why? Do you know what I mean? It was questioned. And then I'll be like, it's just what I want to do. So
you don't need to explain yourself.
You don't need to explain
I don't know
yourself.
if your granny was the same, but my granny's like a feeder.
Well, the biscuit tin. She's like, gets confused why I only want one.
Yeah, and like it would be very much like, you need to eat. You're too skinny. You don't need to lose
with
any
the whole
weight.
pack of French fancies.
Yeah. So that's quite difficult as well. How did your family take it when you started your journey?
Not well, because I think I said on one of the other episodes that I did go through a bad eating patch where they were worried that I wasn't eating a lot. So I feel like now looking back on it, I took it a bit too personally on why they was a bit annoyed about, you know, like, oh, you're not joining in with the takeaway, or you're not eating our same dinners as us, because I was a bit obsessive over it. So now looking back, okay, fair enough, you know, like they had a reason to be worried. But as soon as I came out of that, I think because they were worried in like the past, that kind of carried over. But then in the end, it was just a normal situation, because my family was very much like a takeaway every Friday. That's like what they did on a Friday night.
Every family does that.
Yeah. But I didn't want to, because I was going to the gym, and then I'd have it like once a month, you know, like that's absolutely fine. But I was working towards my goals, and in the end, they didn't even batter an eyelid. They thought, oh, Lee's not having that, she's going to be making her own. And they actually bought me then ingredients to make my own. And it's like, just keep going with it. If I put my foot down and I was like, no, this is the lifestyle I want to live, and they will soon realise and they will accept it. And it's totally fine. My dad just calls me a fussy princess.
So let's dive in more to like, we'll talk a wee bit about like family, friends, and then like maybe partners, because I feel like all three have very different ways approaches to deal with it.
Yeah.
Like family initially, I think is always going to be the hardest one, because they're going to be like, we love you the way you are.
Yeah.
And you're changing eating habits at home. So it might be that you still live at home. So how do you then make your own foods?
It's like cooking with the family, basically. It's like, how would you navigate that? And I get this question asked a lot from my clients, is like, let's say you're making a big, I don't know, chili, you know? How are you going to weigh your food out if you're hitting your macros or your goals? I will say this to every single person and every single client, because it's actually very simple.
Yeah.
You're probably the one cooking it, right? You know, if you're not, fine, just get a different pan. Put yours in the pan. You don't need to change any of the ingredients, but it's going to take an extra 2 seconds to wash the pan up. Like, you don't need to make it complicated. You don't need to make yourself a separate different meal. You can eat the same thing as everybody else. Just tailor your day around it. But just put it in a separate pan. Like, it's not that difficult, I think, to do that. And it's just the mentality of it. It's like getting yourself all worked up over it.
The friction of it.
Because I used to get myself worked up. But then when I actually took a step back and how can I make this as simple as possible, just a separate pan.
Yeah, do you know what I say as well? This is, you get a ladle, right? And do 2 scoops to the boyfriend, 1 scoop to you, 2 scoops to the boyfriend, 1 scoop to you. And then you end up with him having like way more than what you have as well. That's a nice, easy tip if you really do have friction with like doing the whole different pan thing. But like Lou says, it is literally like takes 2 seconds.
Yeah.
The other thing that obviously you can do as well is like just have a higher calorie dinner and then lower calorie breakfast and lunch. If a family dinner is, most family dinners are like 850, 900 calories. So that's where it bumps up your calories for the day. So it's just about reducing in other areas to make it work. But like we say, I think the biggest thing is just sitting down and explaining like how you're feeling in yourself, what's going on in your head, and then being really aware so that they can support you on this journey. So that if they know how important it is to you, they're surely not going to then tell you not to do it.
Yeah. And I think maybe wording it, you know, in a way that's like, I'm doing this for my health. I'm doing this for a healthy lifestyle because I want to, you know, be fit and healthy. I don't want to end up with, you know, any like serious things later on in life. If you word it in that sense rather than, oh, I want to lose 5 pounds, it's a lot better. Do you know what I mean? Because then you can get the whole family on it, because that is important, to get the whole family eating healthy. That's what I encourage my clients to do. Don't word it in a way of, oh, I want to lose weight all the time, because then it's not going to be negative. Like, positive in the family.
You want to feel
they're going to get annoyed,
healthier, stronger. Those are the important parts about it. And by focusing on those things, like the weight loss comes as a result of it.
It comes with it. And there's nothing wrong with saying that you do want to do that. But like, if you know, preach that in your family, then you're all just going to be healthier, happier, and
for sure,
you know, stuff like that. So what about friends?
I think friends is a different kind of difficult.
Yeah, me too.
I think like, especially like if you are the overweight friend and you have friends that are smaller, they will never understand like how you feel.
Yeah, they won't.
And then when you do start to change, I don't want to say jealousy, because
I was just about to say it.
I sometimes think the issue comes from the projection of someone else, how they're feeling about themselves or what they want to do but haven't achieved. So like usually when you achieve a really good result, or you start to look really good, or you feel really fit, or you're, you know, bench pressing like 40 kg or whatever it is,
I just call you
and
bitch.
they make comments about it. I think it comes from a place of like them wanting to do something that they've not been able to do.
I've had that myself, to be fair. It's like, oh, you're doing too much. You know, you're looking this certain way now. You're looking bulky. Like, I'm not bulky. Like, it's just like...
Bulky, that word.
Yeah, I literally have to throw that in the fucking bin.
I want to look bulky, okay? I want big...
I want to look like a man.
It's when someone will say, I don't want big legs like yours. Oh, I've worked for 6 years to get these legs.
I want huge tanks. Well, I still don't have any, so...
By the end of this year.
Yeah, we'll grow the booty. But no, so yeah, I think it's a different kind of hard, and I don't know, it is difficult, but I think you've just got to realise whatever someone says, it can be jealousy.
Yeah, I think there can be. And then you've got the other side of it where it's like they just don't get it. They've never done fitness. They've never, like, as I say, been overweight. Like,
and that's when they'll start to call you obsessive.
Yes, obsessive. And it's like, okay, so you track your finances. Would you just spend money aimlessly without tracking it?
Or maybe it's obsessive getting a takeaway every day.
Like, I need a takeaway to de-stress. I need a glass of wine to de-stress. That's all fine. But like, you trying to actively lose weight so you're in a healthy weight bracket so you can live a long and happy life, not have disease. That's obsessive.
God, the society that we live in is absolutely messed up. The fact that we have to explain ourselves, why we want to be healthy and why we want to feel good and look good and all of this, it's because it's so, like, you know, it's because the society nowadays, you know, obesity rates are rising and all of this kind of stuff. It's the norm. Yeah. Well, not the norm, but you know what I mean, you know.
I think with the friend thing, like, I was like the party girl.
Right.
I mean, yes, everyone knows.
I was the granny that stayed at home and did nothing.
So I've always been the party girl, right? I've always been the getting the 20 nuggets after a night out, always like tanking the bottle of wines, always staying out till 3-4 in the morning. Like, so when I started to change my lifestyle, that was a big adjustment for people. Yeah. Because I wasn't like going fun anymore. Yeah. I was boring because I didn't want to do that anymore, and I was in like a relationship and a really great circle of friends. Like, there was like 6 couples that we were all like best friends. We used to hang out all the time.
You just grew up a little bit as well.
So then when we started to kind of pull away from that and I started to change, I started to feel really isolated because my partner at the time would like still be going out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I would be at like home with the dog because I didn't want to do it. So then that almost created that like rift in that relationship because it was like, our like lifestyles just stopped aligning, and I was kind of like moving further and further away, and it was bizarre. And like if they don't get it and don't understand and don't take an interest, like it can really push you quite far apart.
Well, it can. I always got called boring because I didn't want to go out. And it's like, well, it's not really because it wasn't anything to do with like the weight loss or anything like that. I just wanted to feel healthy. I didn't want to waste like the whole of the next day, you know, like dying in my bed. Like even now we do go out. Yeah, of course, we have like a few later nights, but we are sensible. We do go out the next day. We do, you know.
It's different now,
so
right?
Different. We're not going out to nightclubs. We're going to a bar and we're having chats. And it's just, there's nothing wrong with doing the nightclub situation. Like you go and do it if that is for you. I'm just saying like, don't ever feel pressured to do things if you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And that's like, so when you're going out with friends, because this is something that like my clients have to navigate a lot, is like, how the hell do I manage a social occasion? And like, we always say it's just about like planning in advance, like be realistic about what drinks you want to have a look at the menu beforehand, plan the rest of your drinks around it, and your rest of your food for the
like
day.
When we go out, we're so like we plan it, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We're realistic,
we
and like we realistically think, right, how many drinks are we actually going to have? Like, what are we going to eat? And then we make it fit, and that's how you can socialize and still maintain your results. And you just need to, as I say, explain to your friends, like, look, I don't want to share a bottle of wine. I don't want to have tapas. I want to just order my own food and have my gin and tonics. I want to enjoy this lovely evening with you, but I don't want to do the sharing, because that's where things get carried
away.
When
you eat a lot more than you think. Like, you really do.
Yeah.
And then it's really hard to kind of track it. I know you don't have to track every single time that you go out, but if you are a sociable girly, then
you kind of do.
You do, because you won't make the results that you want, and then it will just be like you have to train even harder. And like you said at the beginning, you can't out-train a bad diet.
Nope.
So
tried that.
What about partners then? Like, so when I was
the sabotaging boyfriend.
Honestly, if anyone's seen my Instagram, and I made a reel on dump your boyfriends, just do it, because I didn't know. I'm joking. No, I actually did.
But again, I do think this is where it comes into having a partner who is into the same stuff as you.
Mine was.
Oh yeah, yours was.
But
my recent ex was. My other ones weren't.
But then it was more like the gym side of it was. The nutrition, no. Do you know what I mean?
But then again, girlies, like boys can eat a hell of a lot more than you.
Eat like a whole pack of biscuits.
And maintain their weight. They just can eat a lot more. And that's where everyone, I mean, I don't know if you did, like I always, when I get in a new relationship, gain about a stone. And I always then have to lose it.
I didn't feel my best, put it that way.
Yeah, and then you feel shit because you don't look the way you did when you met them, and then your confidence starts to drop, and then you get in a hole, and that's how you see this spiraling.
Yeah, but I think it's so important, like if you are in a new relationship or you're married or whatever, you need to maintain that respect for yourself
100%.
To stay where you're comfortable, because nothing's worth it. Yes, you can have a little bit more snacks, you're going to be a couple pounds heavier, fine, but you don't need to get to a point where you're taking like, I don't want to take the piss out of it, but it kind of is. Do you know what I mean?
It's just not being aware, and it's not respecting.
But sometimes people use it as an excuse. Oh, I'm in a relationship now. Woo.
Like I don't need to look. Whereas actually, you will feel happier and more confident by maintaining your physique. And it's not to say you need to be shredded. Like we're not at all. But like if you're putting on like 2, 3, 4 dress sizes,
it relates back to the healthy lifestyle.
You're just not going to feel good in yourself, and then it's going to affect your relationship, because I guarantee you're going to want to stop having sex with your boyfriend. You're not going to want him to see you naked with the lights on. Like,
no, you're going to want to cover up under like the duvet again.
There's
and
that
it's just
kind
not
of
going to be like
of it as well.
Like, and like you're not going to want to go out as much as well. Like you're just. You wanna do it for yourself as well. Like do it for your own self-confidence. You still want to feel sexy. You still want to feel good and all of that kind of stuff. So my biggest advice probably in terms of the relationship one is, again, like we said for all of them, is number 1, have the deep conversation with them at the start. And number 2 is do it together. Like get a few more healthier snacks in the evening. And my favorite is snack boxes, honestly.
Snack box.
Make like a 300-400 calorie snack box, and every time they get their snacks out, you go and get yours.
Yeah. So that basically means like get like the little mini bags of Skittles, the wee bags of popcorn, the mini chocolate bars, like the Haribo, and like you can have this like little plate of food, and my clients love it because it means that you can still enjoy without going nuts.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you, but like my clients who, I'm not saying some of them, like they all have supportive partners. Like don't have any clients that don't have supportive partners, but I've got clients whose partners are very supportive and very on it and very much help them push forward and drive forward with it instead of trying to sabotage them.
I have,
and those clients get much quicker, better results. Yeah. Because it's so hard on a Saturday night. If they're like, hard. Oh, come on, let's just get fish and chips.
And it's so easy. Like I would give in, like, you know, like it is hard. Like sometimes to like put that, you know, no, we're not doing it. So that is why out of everything, family, friends, everything, sit down with them and have a conversation.
It's super important. And just, and having people, like, that's what we were kind of saying with us, like, okay, we're going out more now than we were before, but we've almost got each other to hold that little bit more accountable.
We're quite lucky in that sense.
Make sure that we're going to get in our gym sessions in, make sure we're eating good nutritious foods the rest of the time, making sure we are like drinking our spirits and diet mixer and not like taking the piss with cocktails. Like I'm on a margarita ban, I'm allowed one and we're not having five.
I have put her on a ban.
So it's like little things like that, and it's like having people around you who you have fun with, but also push you to be your best version of you, and that's what you want to surround yourself with. And your friends and family and boyfriend can all be that person, but only if they understand why you're doing what you're doing.
And if they don't understand and you have tried what we've been saying, then I honestly recommend, this is not bigging ourselves up, but get yourself your coach.
Because then you've got someone in your corner.
At some points, I have to get myself a coach. Why? Because of the accountability. Like when I first moved to Dubai, like it is hard. Like sometimes there is points in your life where you can't necessarily rely on a friend or a family member, not in a bad way. It's because maybe they're going through stuff as well and they're not in the right mindset. Yeah. And then having a coach who is in the right mindset for you, then I think sometimes, you know, it is beneficial to have that external person who isn't that close to you if you find it difficult to have a conversation with them to push you with your goals.
Also, like the people in your life, like your friends, family, boyfriend, have maybe gone through fad diets or had bad relationships with food and are maybe giving you bad advice as well. Like that's the other thing, do you know? Like if they've had struggles with dieting in the past, like I always think like you wouldn't take advice from someone, like you wouldn't take advice from a financial advisor who was like dead broke, would you?
And then also it's the fact that like, yes, you can have a conversation with them, but what happens if they're in a stressy mood or they're in a bad mood or they're upset? They're going to want to get it, and they're not always going to have the strong headspace that you need when you don't have a strong headspace, because
you need the
how many times do you feel the same as your partner? Quite a lot, because you're living together.
Like
you're same emotion. So basically just hire me and
little plug in there. But no, it does help to have a coach and to have someone in your corner. But even like I've got loads of, like a lot of my business is built on referrals, like so clients will refer clients.
Yeah, me too.
So like we've got like besties in the coaching, we've got cousins, we've got sisters, you've got husbands. So when you do the journey with someone, it does make it a lot easier, whether it be, you know, with a coach or with your friend plus a coach, and like another community of women. But it's funny because we were discussing this because we were talking about it in my client group chat about my client's going through this with her family at the moment, and she's finding it really difficult, and they're just not understanding. So I think we just wanted to highlight to you who's maybe going through it, but also you who's maybe got a friend that's actually doing this, and just being more hyper aware of like what you say and what you do, so you can be more supportive instead of like judgmental, because it's just about understanding each other.
Works you never both ways. Like just be supportive to anybody, and then
you don't know what other people are going through.
100%. Well, so,
we'll wrap that one up there.
Hope you enjoyed it. And we will be back with episode number 4
next week. Don't forget to follow us on TikTok because we're really funny on TikTok.
We're getting better, I promise.
And the podcast will be obviously on Spotify, but you can watch us on YouTube if you're watching now. Hello. And where else? Follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram bios are in our YouTube blog.
Yes.
All right.
Hope you enjoyed, and we will catch you soon.
Catch you in the next one.
Bye.